Welcome to the simple Zhufufu guide in 6 minutes, and let's get right into it. Zhufufu is an off-field fire stun S-rank agent that packs some serious buffs. Hui, Zhufufu's pet and popcorn maker, automatically attacks the enemies once every 4 seconds like so. Hui fills up this bar on the top left called the Might Bar whenever it attacks an enemy and builds might. Zhufufu's ult also fills up half of this bar. While off-field, Zhufufu performs chain attacks when there's enough might, usually half the bar, like so. When Hui attacks the enemies with half the might bar or more, and Zhufufu isn't the active selected character, the entire team gets a crit damage buff when your base attack stat meets a certain threshold. You want to aim for your attack stat to meet the 3400 attack mark to get a juicy 50% crit damage buff, along with a 20% chain attack damage buff and a 40% ult damage buff, which is massive for ult-reliant characters like Yi Xuan. The lesser the attack you have on the stat page, the smaller the buff, so you really want to get a minimum of 3400 attack. Aside from the might and the might bar, you also have momentum. The ways to get momentum will be on the screen like so, from highest to lowest. Zhufufu will also use these momentum stacks to do a spin attack after a normal off-field chain attack like so.
Step back. Let me handle this.
Look at the little spin. It gives you some extra damage, stuns, and extra might. Zhufufu also has some awesome passives. She increases the decibel limit of your team's attack and rupture agents by 1000 and also grants a 300 decibel refund for teammates when they use their ult. Now let's talk about her rotation. Because she's an off-field unit, there's really no standard rotation, it really depends. But you basically want to use her EX special and her ult when it's available, and the rest of the time she's pretty much off-field, letting your DPS take the main stage. You also want to use her EX specials and ult while the enemy isn't stunned, and let your DPS take advantage of the entire stun window. I'm going to show you the small sample of the rotation. First of all, I'm going in with Zhufufu, building those momentum stacks, swapping to the Panda to get the sheer force buff.
Cycle of yin and yang.
To ease into Yi Xuan's Qs, into the second Q, you can see the refund. Oh, I mean, didn't even survive the first ult. But it's sort of like that. Basically, you want maximum uptime with your on-field DPS, and Zhufufu most of the time is going to be off-field, and you're just going to use her E's, her Q's when the enemy's not on the stun window, TLDR. Let's talk about her drive disc. You basically want to use 4-piece King of the Summit and 2-piece Shockstar Disco. Note that you need a 50% minimum crit rate to trigger the 4-piece set effect to its maximum value, providing your team with 30% crit damage, and also to build enough substats on attack to have a minimum of 3400 for Zhufufu's core talent. For piece 4, you want attack percentage or crit rate depending on how your substats rolls went. For piece 5, you want attack percentage. For piece 6, you want impact. An alternative to Shockstar Disco is you can use 2-piece Hormone Punk to up the attack percentage so that you meet the attack thresholds if you are struggling. Note that you'll stun the enemies a lot slower though. Let's talk about W Engines. Obviously her signature is the best because it helps you reach your attack stat requirement and provides the team with a pretty much permanent 20% buff. The best F2P option, which is also craftable, is the Precious Fossilized Core because it allows you to stun the enemies a lot quicker. Now let's talk about Zhufufu's teams. Zhufufu pretty much works with all attack agents and rupture agents. Her premium best in-slot team is on screen as you can see. It is Zhufufu, Yi Xuan, and Panda or Astra. I prefer using Panda to free up Astra for other teams. Yi Xuan has high synergy with Zhufufu as she's an ult-reliant agent that wants a lot of on-field time. With Yi Xuan, she has 2 ults, so if you use her ults back-to-back, you get a 600 decibel refund, which is pretty crazy. Yi Xuan also does more damage from teammates having more attack, which you are forced to build for Zhufufu's core talents. She also massively benefits from Zhufufu's crit damage and ult damage buffs. You can also use her with a fire DPS character like Evelynn or Soldier 11 along with a buffer on the side. Evelynn especially benefits from Drufufu too, as she enjoys on-field time to build her resources for chain attacks. You can really use Drufufu with really any attack agent and a buffer on the side as long as they aren't anomaly focused. You'll be alright. And that's it for this quick Drufufu guide. What do you think of this ferocious orange cat? I mean tiger. Let me know. See ya, bye bye.